How's it going, everybody? Today's ASMR video is me working at my night shift at Home Depot. It's like a little role play. Show you what the life is working the night shift at my job. I, not to be honest, I love working the night shift. I don't know why. I don't mind it, but the only thing that I don't like is during the weekends. Like, you have to work a Friday night. I clock in at 7 p.m. and then I don't get off until 11 p.m. or at 3:30 p.m. That's the only thing that I kinda hate, just because I can only enjoy one weekend, and that would be like a Saturday afternoon or Saturday night. But that's not too bad, to be honest. Right here, I'm gonna be showing you what I work. I work at the garden department, and yeah, just stocking shelves. Currently, it is a heavy season coming. It's mid-February. Like, I believe it's like the second week, or we just finished the third. Yeah, no, we just finished the second week at Home Depot on February. So winter is slightly almost over, and we are getting a lot of trucks in today, just preparing for spring. So there's a lot of spring cleaning items and a lot of bug like management. I would have just the natural sound, but due to the copyright music playing on the speaker, it's really hard to use the sound, and I've already been demonetized on YouTube, so I just didn't want to risk my channel being affected. So I'm just playing it safe and just narrating over the sound. But yeah, usually I believe this is aisle 49, and this is the aisle that I've mostly been working on. And I believe when the heavy season starts picking up, like the garden, outside garden, when everyone's able to start to do some gardening outside, that's when I'm about to pick up more hours. I used to be working full time, but they took me off the schedule because of winter, which kind of sucks. I've had jobs where I would they would take my hours away, but like that was like seasonal jobs, and I would be on unpaid leave, and I just let the government know that they just close the season, and I get little checks here and there while I wait like 3 months for the new season to start because of the winter, and that would be mostly in California. But here in Nebraska, the, at this Home Depot specifically, they just cut my hours, which kind of sucks. So I'm experiencing like the low blowback of working low hours. I would pick up more hours, but 5 other people at work today. We would have a total of 8 people, 9 maybe, working. And some of them just clock in like later at 11, so they also work part time. I believe like 2 people called out during for their full time shift, which is funny because this truck was pretty light, or they had like family emergencies, or I don't know. We've been getting a lot of trucks, so they probably just needed a rest. So right now, I'm just checking some items to see if they're stocked. And what I did there is I pushed the items back to see if I can fit more items. And there's like 6 in a box, and it looked like I can only fit 2, which I could max fill. But if I do that, I would have to walk to the garden desk and get duct tape to reseal the box and mark it as 4 items left in the box, which doesn't really make sense. If I'm trying to work faster, it would just increase my footsteps. So I decided not to open up the box and pack out 2 items. It just seemed like a waste. If there was like 1 item left after I packed out the 5 out of the 6, then it'd make more sense. Just so I can have the shelf more full, but I just ended up deciding to put it on the floor or just leave it on the shelf so it can be put in the overhead. As you can see, like all these cardboard boxes in the overhead up on top. It just means just a bunch of items that are not able to be fully stocked out, fully packed out. So right now I'm just pushing some items back. And it really kind of sucks that I'm not able to use the natural sound, because there is some good cardboard sound in there, like the little dolly, not the dolly, but the cart. The cart had a good sound to it too. And then the ladder as well. Right now I'm just pulling on the ladder. Gotta get this thing moved out the way. I really like this one just because it's not too short and it's not too big as those bigger ladders that can reach all the way to the top. This one's just great just for the height, where it's good for the restocking shelves, where I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It reaches the highest shelf, like 5 shelves high. So that's what I like the short ladder for. There's a tinier ladder, but it's not as good. It's like a yellow ladder. Right now I'm just checking if I can pick out more items for the Febreze, and it looks like I can because there's only like 2 of them. And I believe that it said there was 6, but when I opened it, there was only 3 packs, but it was a pack of 2. So you had 3 packs of 2. So I was kind of shocked when I saw these. Yeah, see, 2, 4, 6, which is weird because it's a value pack. Usually when it says there's 6 in a box, it's like 6 individual items. And I don't know if I did it within this video, but sometimes I use my box cutter to break down the boxes because they are super glued, and it's really tough to break it down with your hand. And right here, I am doing some unsafe cutting techniques, but like I'm wearing a glove and I've never had an accident, and I've always do it real slow, and I have my hands face away from me, which that's not where you can get hurt. The main part why you're supposed to cut it's like 12, 14, 11, and 13. And then there's aisle 16 or bay 16 right there. And bay 15 on the other end. And if you can see right there in the back wall, that's all the bug chemicals, which I really hate working. Like that's like the worst part ever. Just because like the chemical smell of the bugs is really powerful. Like the garden section right here, it's kind of terrible as well. But the only part where it's terrible is when there's a spill and you just smell Febreze or Fabuloso or any cleaning supply where it just gets all over the floor, especially Downy, where you use for your clothes, for your washing your clothes. That also kind of overpowers the senses of my nose and the smell, and it just makes it a lot harder to work in this aisle because you just have that strong scent, that strong chemical. I believe they use like cologne or perfume, like a strong perfume chemical, and it just really, really overpowers my senses. And I just get a headache. And that's when when stuff like that happens, I go outside, take a fresh breath of air, stay there for like at least a minute or two, and then just come back and just power through it. But yeah, I sometimes when my head starts to hurt after a chemical spill and then after working that aisle, I either go outside and take a little break, or I just like stop working this aisle, grab a different cart that's like in aisle 50, 51, 52, or start working outside and then come back to this aisle later because I'm just like, I'll just deal with this later because this is like, just, I can't deal with it. Right now, as you can see, I'm just using a reach tool, and that's to push the items further back, trying to get the maximum value of restocking the shelves. Sometimes it's a lot easier to push 2 items at a time, but like these ones, they tip over so easily. And when that happens, I would have to pick up the item back up and then restuff it back into the shelf to be stocked. And that's like even worse, and it just wastes more time. There's a certain point where you just have to use your hands to stock when it's not too further deep. And I don't know what part, I don't think I've done it in this video, but sometimes when people are stocking shelves, my other associates, they accidentally overstuff it or they overcalculate them restocking the shelf, and some of them just start bleeding to other sections of the bay. And what I mean is, like, let's say there's one item that belongs in this row, but for some reason you see it like a different item behind it. You're like, that item doesn't belong here. And there's like at least 3 or 4, and then you would have to pull all those items out, pull the items where it belongs to all out so you can restock, because now that like a week has passed by and some items have sold from that like line or that row, you just have to restock the shelves, which kind of takes longer, but for some reason my OCD kind of likes it where I have to reorganize everything. Like these ones were pretty fun as well. I remember stocking all these bottom ones, these 1-gallon jugs or 5-gallon jugs, where I had to pull everything out from all the way from the bottom row. That Odo ban, this is the part where I'm talking about where all the items are not all lined up, and it's not too messy or too unaligned. So I decide to like readjust everything, not pull everything out, trying to make everything perfect, but I just wanted to see how everything was lined up and see if it was really bad. Because I had to stuff 4 in there, and I believe I can only get 3, but I managed to stuff 4. So here we go. There's 1, there's 2, and it does look like I could stuff 2 more, but I would have to push it back a little bit. As you can see, it stuffs out a little bit, it pops out, but looks like it wasn't like too far out where it could accidentally fall from the shelf. So I just carried on, destroyed the box, packed it down, and started working on the next item. And this cart would usually take me about 2 to 3 hours, which is kind of crazy because they've been really overpacking these carts. As you can see, I take off my headphones. I wasn't really listening to anything, because I decided to record my experience at work, and I just kept the headphones on just for no reason, which I could have just left it on top of the cart right there where that piece of paper is. I could have just hung it right there, but I just didn't realize that until the end of the video. I'm like, oh wow, I could have just put it right there. So it was kind of hurting my neck, especially having the phone strapped to my chest. And here's this, and I believe this one also has 6 items in the box. I believe I've been working at this Home Depot for like about a year, and I've worked at Home Depot for a total of 4 years, or not total 4 years, but a total of 5 years now. I used to work at Home Depot during the COVID time, and I had this job is actually pretty easy. Sadly, I did have to quit this job because I moved to California, and it kind of sucked because I was only in California for like about 2 months, and then I moved back. I didn't think I was gonna move back to like Nebraska, but I ended up moving back, which was not good because that means I just gave up a high position at Home Depot, and then I reapplied at a different one. It took me like almost a year or 2 to reapply at Home Depot, and then I wasn't able to get like a manager position or anything like that, or a high value position. So I'm back at working as an associate, like at night shift, which kind of sucks. Lower pay, and then right now they cut my hours, so that's even worse. Because I think I was making a decent amount, a really good decent amount. Like I think I was getting like right now, and at the high position job, I think there was let's see, like a $5 difference. And if you think about it, it's like a dollar raise every year if I've been working there. So it's like, if you think about it, it's like $1 raise every year for $1 every year, yeah. Which was pretty good because when they offered me a high position job, they asked what would I like to be paid. And I told them my number and the reason why. And they're like, yeah, you can definitely have that. And the only reason why they agreed to it is because I've always shown up to work every day, never called out. I don't usually have any strikes. Like you would have like 6 9 occurrences, and I would never have any of them. And it was pretty easy to come to work every day, especially at this job. And what really helped is you get to, at the night shift, you get to listen to headphones, and listen to podcasts, or listen to music, or just anything that would keep you busy. So yeah, it just made the job a lot easier. And what also helped is I would listen to audiobooks as well. And there was an audiobook where it said it would take like almost 36 hours to finish. And I was like, oh my god, that's like almost a whole week of working. But the only time I got to listen to the audiobook is if during the winter time I can automatically listen to my audiobook because Home Depot closes an hour early. So during the winter time they close at 9 p.m. And then during the heavy seasons like spring, summer, and fall, they open up until 10 p.m. So when I would clock in at 9, I would have to wait to use my headphones for 1 hour. So it would take longer for my audiobook to finish because it would take like an extra day. Either that or I just finish it at home. But yeah, this job is pretty good, pretty easy. Though I have occurred some accidents over the time I was working here, like lifting boxes. I think this is like the job, not the first job that I've ever occurred any back problems during the pandemic. The first time I occurred a back problem was when I was lifting like a box, not a box, but like I think a 48 pack of water bottles. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I tried to carry 3 or 4 of them, a 4 stack, just so I could get all this in one go. And then I accidentally pulled my back, and then I fell, and it took me out of work. So I called my job at Home Depot and told them what happened. They're like, "Oh yeah, just stay home." And then I believe like a year later, I occurred another accident where I was trying to lift up a power wash, or like a tool, a power tool stand, like a sail stand, and I was trying to lift it, and I didn't bend my knees. I lifted it with my back, and then I fell to the floor, and I was just stuck on the floor, and I couldn't move. I was like, oh no, I messed up badly. And then I was just on the floor for like 30 minutes because the manager that was supposed to get the papers was like busy in a meeting or something at the time. And I was like, dang, I can't. I have to sit right here. So I just laid on the floor, like on my side, and I didn't move. My associates wanted to pick me up, but I was like, no, just leave me right here. This actually feels a lot better than moving. And then he got the papers, and he wanted me to sit up, but I was in too much pain, so I just told him, I'll just sign the papers on the floor. And then they told me what I wanted to do. I was like, I'll just either go to the hospital or go home and rest. And I was just thinking to myself, you know what? If it's like the water bottle incident, I think I should just go home and rest. And they gave me a whole week of resting. A whole week or 2, I believe, because it was really that bad. Though I should have gone to the doctor because I could have got some medicine that would have like helped me, like some muscle relaxers, which I've